no matter the location. From O-A-K-L-A to L-V, I'm a Raider.
Raider Nation, what's going on? You guys are watching the Raiders Report, and yeah, I still don't have a voice, but guess what? We're still giving you guys content here. Now, today's show is presented by Panda Sups. If you guys are sick and tired of these injuries like I am, go to pandasups.com, use code FINJURIES where you can save 40% off all their amazing products. The product that I'm using today is the Cuts. If you guys are looking to lose a few extra pounds after a crazy weekend in Las Vegas, then we're on the same page. So what's going to be coming up here on today's show? I'm going to give you the latest news around Marcus Mariota and what exactly is going to be happening with him. And I'm going to actually try to project how many games he's going to miss. Plus, I'm going to give you guys my best guesses of some quarterbacks the Las Vegas Raiders could pick up the phone and call. So let's talk about the Mariota injury news that happened early this morning. He is going to miss several weeks with a quad injury. Now, this has been a injury that he's been kind of battling over the last month, maybe month and a half during practice, during the preseason as well. And it happened on the second play of Monday Night Football. And you remember it? I mean, Mariota gets it. He fakes, hands it off, and he just goes right up the middle for a 31-yard run. Everybody the rest of the game was like, where's Mariota? Why isn't he playing? Well, here's your reason. The fact that now this quad injury flared back up on him, and when he got off the ground, he was definitely a little bit slow to get up. And then when you think about all the injury issues that he's had in the past, I think the Raiders might just go ahead here and be a little bit cautious with him. So here's the question for everyone out there. How many games is he going to miss, right? When I see several games, obviously I'm thinking a little bit longer term. It's not going to be something that's going to be short. Plus, it's Mariota. So let me know down in the comments section how many games you think Mariota is going to miss. My best guess is that he's going to miss 6 games. Now, some of you are like, wait a minute, Mitch. You say that you have a PhD or you say that you used to be a doctor on Twitter. Yeah, that was kind of a different joke. The reason why I'm going to go ahead and say that the Raiders are going to keep Mariota out 6 games is you got to go ahead and look at the schedule. And the reason why I'm going to sit there and look at the schedule, he's obviously not going to play this week against the Steelers. He's not going to play week 3 against the Dolphins or Chargers. The week that I'm looking at is week 8, which is the Raiders' bye week. So if you guys are doing the math with me, that's 6 games he's going to be out. Week 8 is 7 weeks of rest. So I anticipate the next time that we see Mariota back out onto the football field is week 9 against the New York Giants. Some people might think that's a little bit too long, but if there's one thing that Gruden has shown, and if there is one thing that this team has shown, is that they're going to keep him healthy, because the ultimate goal is to have him ready for the final stretch of games. And if the Raiders are lucky enough, and if they keep playing well enough to make the playoffs, that's where you want him, for those red zone packages, for that random time you're going to bring him out onto the field and he can get that 31-yard pickup. So coming up now here on today's show, I'm going to get into some potential Mariota replacements. If you didn't see the video I made yesterday on Denzel Good and Gerald McCoy replacements, please go ahead and check it out. It's got over 20,000 views. It's doing pretty well right now. So the reason why I figured, you know what, man, I think they might go ahead and get an extra Mariota replacement is because with him banged up, the only guy backing up Derek Carr is, well, this guy named Nathan Peterman. And I get it. They already gave him $1 million of guaranteed money, so he's going to be sticking around. Gruden has always liked him. They like the way that he practices. They also have been using him in some different types of schemes to help the defense for more mobile quarterbacks. The Gruden, we know he's got a lot of confidence in Nathan Peterman. My question to everyone else, though, and watching right now is, what is your confidence level in Peterman? And when we do this show here, I want you guys to be 100% honest with me, and I don't really ever question that Raider Nation will be honest, but go down in the comments from a scale from 0 to 10. 0 being you're not confident at all. 10 being you're just as confident in Peterman as you are Derek Carr. Let me know. My confidence level on Peterman is a 3, and maybe it's just because of its number, but at the end of the day, you see some good flashes from him, but I've also seen so much bad Peterman where I'm like, man, I just don't know if I could handle it in a regular season game, because in the preseason, he was 63-92, 593 yards, which led all quarterbacks in the preseason, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Sure, he can run the football here and there a little bit, but if he comes out into the game, it is an ultimate panic mode. And if, God forbid, if Derek Carr gets hurt, I hate to say it, but if Peterman's the only quarterback on your roster, you might as well just pack up the season and get ready for 2022. Now, if something like that crazy does happen, or if the Raiders go out and they sign a quarterback, guess what? I'm going to be keeping you guys updated here at the Las Vegas Raiders Report. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that big red button that says subscribe. I promise you, I don't always sound like this. Fingers crossed that my voice is back to normal, but it's screwed up because me and so many Raider fans were just freaking out this past weekend. What an incredible weekend it was. I was hanging out with people at Tommy Rockers. I was meeting Raider fans walking all over the strip. The bottom line, we are the number one most watched Raider show, and the reasons because we get down with the nation. So what do y'all think about this? Should the Raiders go out? And should they sign another quarterback? Y for yes, or you can go ahead and type your N for no. Coming up here, I'm going to give you 5 quarterback names that I think they could sign. And at the very, very end, I've already had 2 or 3 DMs around one quarterback, so I'm just going to tell you what I think about that situation. The reason why I'm going to go ahead and say yes is simply because I have zero confidence in Mariota's health, and I don't want Nathan Peterman to be the only backup quarterback to Derek Carr. So with all that being said, even when Mariota does come back, whenever that is, and I project it to be in Week 9, can anybody sit here and tell me that they have any confidence that he's going to be able to stay healthy? The answer to that is no. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go 5 and excuse me, all the way down to 1 in terms of some quarterbacks that Mariota could be replaced with. First guy is Kyle Sloter, and the reason why Sloter is on this list is because he actually spent already a little bit of time with the Raiders earlier this offseason. Do I really think he's all that talented? No, but Gruden likes him because he's a big guy, got the big arm, 6'5", 218 pounds. And if you're just looking for an extra body, if you're just looking for somebody that you can throw onto that practice squad, Kyle Sloter is at least a name to keep in mind. Another name to really keep in mind is Cookus. And the way that I rank these guys overall is by talent and how I think that they could potentially fit and how they could ultimately replace Mariota. He was active in that first preseason game. I believe he got 1 or 2 snaps, and he was the only other Raiders quarterback that got a snap in the preseason, not named Nathan Peterman. But again, you're looking at a situation here where if the Raiders want to go in and they want to find a guy who they can just throw onto the practice squad for an extra body, it's Kyle Sloter, it's Case Cookus. Now, if they actually want something good, maybe if either Cookus or Sloter would go out and get some Panda Sups, they could bulk up a little bit here. Go to pandasups.com, use that code FINJURIES because I am sick and tired of these injuries already to Gerald McCoy, Denzel Good, Marcus Mariota, Yannick Ngakoue. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Now, if you're looking to get in some better shape, or if you're looking to burn a little bit extra fat, the fat burner that you guys see on screen right now is a powder. It's a scoop. If you want to try their brand new stuff, it's called Cuts. This stuff is ridiculous. I mean, imagine being able to burn 150, 200 calories by just sitting at your desk popping one of those pills. Like, that's how good they are. Now, if you're trying to focus a little bit better at work, or if you love video games, if you're at school, maybe you're doing whatever, and you get that late crash, if you take a scoop of nootropics, I'm just going to tell you all right now, it's like legal Adderall. It's crazy stuff, right? Now, if you can't sleep at night, one of their products that I use literally over the last 2 days, because I think I got a combined 11 hours of sleep in Las Vegas over the weekend, use their sleepy product, Dad. I'm looking at you. And the last product that I'm going to talk about today is their pre-workout. It's fierce. And the reason why it's fierce, one of the best products out there, when you take pre-workout, you need to be able to wake up, but it also needs to be able to wake up your muscles, because if your muscles aren't awake, you're not going to get the results that you want. Bottom line, 40% off, pandasups.com. Use code FINJURIES. Let's go to number 3 on my list, and he's actually the only quarterback that is technically not a free agent, but is on a roster, practice squad at least. It's Matt Barkley. So because he's on the practice squad, the Raiders don't have to trade for him. They can sign him just like they did Damian Square. So it's kind of like that whole situation. The reason why Barkley's on this list is because if there's been one thing that I've noticed that Gruden and that Mayock have done, they've looked at how certain guys have played in the preseason or that know their particular scheme. Matt Barkley, I thought, played very well this preseason with the Tennessee Titans. He just wasn't good enough to beat out Logan Woodside. At number 2, it's DeShone Kizer. The reason why that I have Kizer over these other picks here is because Kizer spent some time already with the Las Vegas Raiders, or I guess technically the Oakland Raiders, in 2018 and 2019. I also know Gruden likes his mobility. He likes his ability to be able to throw, kind of similar to Mariota. So if you're looking for this easy transition of being a Mariota 1B option, I do think DeShone Kizer makes a little bit of sense. And at number 1, here's the name that's going to make people go absolutely crazy. It's Cam Newton. Cam Newton entering this year could have been the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots. Also, you go back and look at multiple reports this offseason. Last offseason, John Gruden was, in fact, interested in Newton. So if the Raiders want to be able to go out and find a Mariota replacement, somebody who they can rely on maybe to run the football, maybe be a little bit more clutch in the red zone, it would not surprise me whatsoever if Gruden picks up the phone and gives Newton a call. So should the Raiders go out and sign Cam Newton, he is on the free agent wire. And when you look at a lot of the Newton deals that he signed recently, he signed cheap deals like $1 million, $1.5 million. Now, sure, they're very incentive heavy, but you know what? I'll take a $1.5 million contract with a lot of incentives if the guy can stay out there on the field instead of paying Marcus Mariota all the money that we've paid him. And, well, he just really hasn't been out on the field at all. So S for sure, or you can go ahead and type your P for pass on Cam Newton. Now, again, y'all, here are my Mariota replacements. The clear number one for me is Newton. I do think it makes the most sense, and he'd be the top guy that I would go out and call. If you have any other names whatsoever, please don't be afraid to hit me up on Instagram at MitchellRens365. My DMs are open for a reason, and literally because I always tell people, hey, hit me up on IG. I want to know what you guys have to say. That's the biggest reason why the name that's about to come up here on the show is being brought up, because as soon as the Mariota news came out, I'm not kidding you, I had 3 people at least say, what about Colin Kaepernick? So anytime you talk about QBs, Kaepernick's name still does get brought up. So the fact that Mariota's going to miss several weeks, the Raiders could potentially look for a mobile quarterback, and Gruden, I don't think he's ever had a quarterback that he doesn't love, doesn't make sense to go out and get Kaepernick. So when you look at over his last 5 years, and this is the last 5 years that he played in the NFL, yes, he has not played in an NFL game since 2016, but he had 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. But if you actually watch the tape in 2016, it was just like not very pretty. But the reason why people still bring him up is not because of his passing ability. Nobody thinks that Kaepernick's a good passing quarterback. It's because he's athletic and he can run the football. In 2016, he had 69 nice carries, 468 yards, 2 touchdowns. And now, I don't think he's ever going to go back to being this super mobile quarterback, but maybe, just maybe, right, if they're looking for somebody that can run, I still think Kaepernick can do that. So what do you guys think here? Should the Raiders sign Cap? If you're saying, yes, they should, I want you to type Cap, K-A-E-P. And if you're like, no, the Raiders should not sign Kaepernick, I want you to type Cap, C-A-P. So should the Raiders go out and sign Colin Kaepernick? No. 0 Chucky heads. Tuck rule. Tuck that. Guys, he has not played a game since 2016. Like, can we just think about that for a second? He's just not going to be mobile enough, I don't believe. He's 33 years old, and I really think the last time he played, he was bad. And I almost think it's hilarious at times how often people rip on Derek Carr for being a losing quarterback. Sure, his career record is 48-63, which is not great. But if you look at the way that Kaepernick played and the way that the 49ers offense moved the football his final 2 seasons, the 49ers were 3-16 in games that Kaepernick started. That's not a lot of winning football. I get that he's a big name. I'm just simply bringing it up here, so hopefully I don't have to talk about it ever again. I do not want the Raiders to go out and sign Colin Kaepernick.